Serious, what stole your joy? Why do you not have the same zest for life that you once did? Let me preface that while at the moment I don't have a lot of joy, I have a lot of hope. Spouse was diagnosed with cancer 6 years ago. Cancer-free, but still dealing with the effects of radiation and chemo on their body. Surgery number 3 is in 10 days. 6-week recovery. Oldest child who did not cope with the cancer tried to unalive themselves 5 times. 3 times in 6 weeks. In a better place now, but had to be in residential treatment for over a year. Take care of your mental health, people. Father has dementia and no longer knows who I am. Can only visit for about 30 minutes or so before he starts getting anxious about a stranger in the house. Sometimes I call and he complains about the kids who never call. I have a lot of guilt I can't be there for him as much as I want to. But between spouse and child there's only so much of me. 50 and no retirement, see bullets #1 and number 2, sidebar Signa sucks fetid donkey bollocks. Still a lot of medical debt. Also owe Uncle Sam due to a miscalculation on a W-4. Spouse's job may not pay for all of recovery time and upcoming surgery will add to the debt. We are already month to month with expenses. So, a lot of pressure and I feel like I've been in survival mode for 6 years. Hard to have joy right now, but as I said, I have hope. One of my strongest comic book memories from my childhood was when Spider-Man had to do CPR on Flash Thompson and told him you don't quit until 10 minutes after you're dead, Flash. I've gone back to that scene a lot. Just gotta keep doing the next right thing. In that time I found the best job I've ever had with an incredible culture. We are closer than ever as a family, and we have food on the table and a roof. I refuse to be a victim of life's circumstances. Edit. Thank you to everyone who chimed in and offered support. It helped more than you know. Sometimes I have trouble recognizing just how much we've been through as a family, because when you're in the shit so long, sometimes you learn to ignore the stink, boiling frog syndrome or something. I don't feel like a hero or a strong person. Just trying to do the next right thing. These comments kind of propped me up today. Thanks, internet strangers. Edit 2, something just occurred to me. It's a lesson I have learned from all this. I have had friends talk to me and be reluctant to share something they were going through because it's nothing like what you are going through. Listen, pain is pain. The circumstances that cause that pain cannot be judged by anyone other than the person who walked through them. Don't ever think someone else is going through something so bad, you can't be real or minimize your struggle. If I can ever be the person today I needed then, please reach out. Incurable, inoperable brain cancer at 36. Edit, diagnosed at 34, not 36. Loss. I lost my dad to cancer. This set off a lot of issues with my mom, depression, alcoholism, medicine abuse, and I was in a different city far away doing my master thesis. I was 23 and I don't have any siblings. It broke me. I used to go around with a smile on my face by default, but that disappeared. I found lots of joy afterwards, but it sure was an experience I still suffer from. Knowing bad people win? Not like in movies I enjoy watching. Heroes are silenced or killed early on and the scummiest die peacefully getting away with everything. Chronic illness. Edit, and chronic pain. I got into a car accident in March that I thought I walked away from with no injuries. 2 days later my head started bobbing and I couldn't make it stop. Turns out I suffered some brain damage and developed a neurological disorder called cervical dystonia. Now I'm in constant pain, my head looks like it was screwed on wrong, I can't look at anything without rolling my shoulders forward so I look like a hunchback, and it's so embarrassing. No one's ever heard of dystonia, so I know when people look at me they wonder what TF is wrong with me. It's completely dehumanizing and I feel like a monster. As if it wasn't bad enough that I'm in excruciating pain. All because of a fender bender. I just lay in bed all day now. Edit, thank you all for the well wishes, it warms my heart. As for treatments, I'm hopeful that something will work, but I'm currently in between neurologists because I had to move unexpectedly. The last one was about to start me on Botox and physical therapy, And I had to wait several months for an opening because they were the only ones in the area that took my insurance. But I'll find a new one and see what they can do for me. I am not without hope, and the fact that so many people care really brightened my day. I turned my hobby into my profession. Now I don't have a hobby anymore, and I enjoy doing what I do less now that I need to do it in order to get money. My mum died and it all went to shit. My spouse died of cancer. Literally nothing holds joy anymore. Life consists of waiting for it to be done. Work. It no longer satisfies. It's just a means to an end. I used to like working, but now it's just a meat grinder. 14 years until I retire. Being blind. Realizing no matter how good I become at something, able-bodied people will and are better. Realizing that I can be amazing something and never get anything more than you are good for a blind person. I lost my wife to cancer in 2019. We had been together for 34 years. She was my best friend, the love of my life. We raised a family together and had big plans for when the kids moved out. We were going to travel and do all sorts of fun stuff together, just the two of us. She passed right before COVID hit. I went through the entire lockdown by myself in a town with no family and no real friends. We could have spent so much time together. Now that things are getting back to normal, I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life. And #X200B. Edit. Wow, thank you. I posted this thinking it was more of a message in a bottle, then had to walk away from Reddit for a few days. I'm absolutely floored by the response. All I can add is that I'll be okay. She made me promise that I wouldn't do anything stupid, that I would be there for our children. I intend to keep that promise. Spouse and 3 kids died in an accident. People said it would take time to feel joy again, but it's been over a decade now without much change. I enjoy little things from day to day now, but there's no larger point anymore. Life is mostly just a chore. Learning that no one but myself can make me happy, and that I'm not able to do this. Also having tried to fit in for such a long time that I'm just burned out. The realization that no matter what I do, no matter how many hours I work, I'll still never be able to get ahead. Working just to have little to nothing to show for it doesn't feel great. My mom dying of cancer when I was 26. She's been gone 8 years, but I remember the joy I could feel for things before it all. It's like a light's gone out. I can see it in my siblings as well. Menopause. It's insane how rough perimenopause and menopause are. So many symptoms. About 90% of mine were helped by hormone replacement therapy, arthritis, itchy skin, insomnia, hair loss, mood swings, etc. But the one thing the hormones haven't brought back is my motivation. My get up and go got up and went. Side note, I'm convinced that 90% of the Karens you see out there are circling menopause. Sometimes you just wake up in a rage. Not the racist Karens though, menopause doesn't cause racism. The passing of my son from fentanyl poisoning this year. Beyond broken. Cycle of working and paying the bills. Reading comments on Reddit, why do I do this to myself? Lack of companionship and love. I never really learned how to socialize and make friends because I was so severely bullied as a child and adolescent. I was always told that it would get better when I grew up, but it really didn't. I stopped getting bullied, yes, but it turned into people just not wanting to know me. I've tried to pursue romantic partners and friends, and no one is interested in me. Now I'm 45 and have really no one in my life, and I've learned no one wants me in theirs, so I just don't try. I go to work, I come home. That's it. My 5-year-old died of undiagnosed leukemia a few months ago. She had Down syndrome and was nonverbal, so she couldn't tell us something was wrong. She had nosebleeds off and on for 2 weeks before she passed. We saw a few doctors, but none of them caught it in time. I have 2 kids I try to still do things with, but nothing feels the same. My management at work. I used to enjoy coming to work. The incompetence permeates everything that they touch. Divorce. Money. Specifically, the fact that I need to acquire it constantly. Abusive relationships and lack of support systems. Turning a hobby into a career stole the joy from the hobby for me. I used to love baking, making fun desserts and decorating cakes and cupcakes for events. It was a release from a stressful job for me and brought joy to people. Then I left my job to go work in the industry, started at a French fine dining restaurant on its way to some Michelin stars in NYC, and it destroyed any love I had for baking. The hours, started work at 3 a.m., the physical toll on my feet for 12+ hours, getting burnt by ovens and having a weird sleep schedule, and the emotional toll of working in an industry steeped in misogyny and substance abuse was just astronomical. By the end of my time in the restaurant, I doubted who I was as a person and what I was capable of. It honestly broke me for a bit, and it took a while, and a really kind next employer, to piece me back together. Years later, I went to law school and now work in a large law firm as a litigator. When people heard what I was doing now, they would say, "Oh, isn't that stressful? I hear those jobs can be really tough." Nope. I work with professionals who never belittle me or my intelligence, and who would never dare to call me the vile things my direct superiors in the kitchen called me, and if they did, there would be serious consequences. I can sleep a normal schedule. I get paid very well, especially compared to the $5.50 per hour with forced overtime I had to work in the kitchen, for the prestige of working under famous chefs and restaurateurs. I don't much enjoy baking now. I have found other hobbies to pour my time and energy into, and I will never again make the mistake of turning an avocation into a vocation. I spent 2 years in Iraq. My body aches every day. I can't bend over and tie my shoes anymore. I wake up in pain and I go to bed in pain. I have nightmares. I don't go into crowds. I have at times had audible hallucinations. And I'm going deaf. I'm 37 and have the body of an 80-year-old man. Lifelong abuse and trauma. I don't want to do anything. I honestly want to die soon. The casual cruelty I see around me every day in every sector of society, and so many people seem oblivious to it. I have my mental health issues, my physical health issues, I've lost people close to me, but nothing has systematically destroyed my hope more than just every day seeing people being cruel for no reason other than to make themselves feel better. It breaks my heart. Dog got ran over in June. Holding him so close to me while I waited for an Uber to take him to the vet and noticing his heart just wasn't beating anymore. Edit, just got home and saw all the kind messages. I'm trying to answer you all, but I just start bawling all over again. I'm grateful for the comforting words. If you're going through something similar, it does get easier. I didn't think I was going to make it the first week without him. Growing in a troubled home, he became the biggest pious of my heart. I begged for help or anything to ease the pain, but some things only get better with time. Allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to feel the pain so you can start to heal. You will remember them all the time, and sometimes it will come crashing down all over again, but it will get easier. Hope you find peace in your heart soon. This is probably so stupidly minor in the grand scheme of things, but my ex's treatment of me post-breakup. The realization that the world is full of fuckwits who are successful purely because of luck, nepotism, or the ability to step on everyone else for their own gain. Realizing that there is no justice in the world, that scumbags rarely get what they deserve. Quite the contrary, they often become successful and rarely face consequences. That shattered my optimism, and my belief that the world is a good place. Behind every jaded cynic is a disappointed idealist, and I was very idealistic. Edits, grammar and flow. Realizing that most of the world is run on greed. It really takes away the delight in being a part of something bigger than you when you grasp that most everyone is selfish and money hungry.